Welcome to Renew Psychology Review. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about another YouTube channel related to psychology, and that's the Psychology in Seattle podcast by Dr. Kirk Honda. In general, I'm going to do some of these episodes about other psychology-related channels and resources because part of what I want to do here is share some knowledge, and part of that means connecting you guys to the resources that I've found that helped me. I'm kind of hoping, dreaming that some people will see these videos and find their own ways to make use of the information and turn it into your own thing. You'll probably, if it's a really good, a really rich resource, which Psychology in Seattle is one example of, I think you'll probably find lots of things to take away from it that I wouldn't have. So it's an exciting thing to share things like this that are so rich and to hear maybe about where other people might go with it. Please leave a comment if you check it out and you find something useful about it. Like it, dislike it, whatever. But I'm here to tell you that that's a phrase from Psychology in Seattle right there. Kirk Honda, the guy who hosts it, he often says, "I'm here to tell you." That's funny that I just did that. But so Psychology in Seattle, it's a podcast that's run by Dr. Kirk Honda. I can probably play you back his whole spiel right here. He's a marriage and family therapist and the chair of the psychology department, or I think the psychology department, maybe marriage and family therapy at Antioch University. In any case, he's a highly qualified guy, very scientifically minded, been doing this a long time. And when I say scientifically minded, so in psychology, there are kind of differences in how different topics are approached. And there's scientific backing for a lot of areas that I think are really useful and tell us a lot of good things about human nature, who we are, how we relate to other people, what we're doing moving through life, that don't get as much credit as the stuff that's kind of the flag bearer for the scientific movement in psychology. This has especially become the case, I think, since the replication crisis in psychology, which I probably need to do another episode about. But anyway, before I get too far off the topic, I just wanted to say, so Kirk Honda, he describes himself as favoring a lot of approaches like narrative therapy, existential humanistic therapy, and psychodynamic therapy that are scientifically backed, and that because of the popularity of cognitive behavioral therapy, people don't always recognize. So he does a great job of breaking this down, as well as, paying respect to fields like cognitive behavioral therapy and talking about how he uses those things in his own practice. So the pace of a Psychology in Seattle episode, they go over lots of topics. A lot of them are about specific sort of areas of therapy. Sometimes Dr. Honda will bring in friends and compatriots. He's got a friend, Bob, who is a DBT therapist. DBT, if you're not familiar, dialectical behavioral therapy is an offshoot of cognitive behavioral therapy that's targeted largely at people with borderline personality disorder or other personality disorders. So Kirk Honda's friend Bob comes in and talks about that. He's got another friend, Rebecca, that comes in and talks about art therapy sometimes, or just gives her perspective on other therapeutic areas. He also has a friend, Umberto, that's they're fellow musicians, and I gather may have met out of some kind of band they were in or something. But Umberto shows up both on episodes directly about psychology topics and otherwise, and just kind of shares his ideas. And so this is an interesting group of people. Dr. Honda is an interesting guy, has a lot of good things to share. So I'd highly recommend you check out their channel. In fact, so if you dig into some of the episodes that are about psychodynamic approaches, defense mechanisms, personality, those will probably be, talking about a lot of areas that I find interesting, and we'll be doing some episodes about here. But I'd encourage you to check it out. Find what you like and let me know in the comments what connects with you, and I'll be interested to hear back. Thanks.